Hello and welcome to another Oily Witch update about what's going on in the stars and what you can expect from the colour of time at the moment. This Saturday, the 28th of October at 9:15 p.m, we have a lunar eclipse, a full moon in Taurus. So this is the Ivy full moon happening in Taurus on the 28th, this Saturday at 9:15 p.m. Solar eclipses and lunar eclipses always come in pairs. They show us different sides of the same coin, so a different perspective over the same issue. When we have a lunar eclipse, it's when the Earth is getting in between the sun and the moon, casting its shadow on the moon. So lunar eclipses are deeply powerful, deeply emotional, deeply changing, and with it being in Taurus, an earth sign, this is literally digging deep into all that you keep beneath the surface. What skeletons have you buried in your earth that this moonlight is going to shine onto? So this is going to be potentially very, very a difficult moon phase for you, depending on, again, your chart. Always a caveat is where these things fall in your chart. I do have my moon in Taurus, so yay, I'm already living this, because with any kind of huge event like this, the effects can be felt up to a couple of weeks beforehand, and certainly a long while after. They keep reverberating, and certainly the solar eclipse on the 14th kept going, and so the lunar eclipse is going to do the same thing. It's really, really deep, and it's really kind of a turning point. It can be a turning point for people, because we have to confront these hidden skeletons. We cannot leave them just lying there festering away. We need to know what the messages, the things we haven't said out loud, we haven't acknowledged what they are within us, to bring them out, to clear them. And that is the whole point of this moon, is the fact that revealing what needs to be revealed so that we can look at it, experience, feel it once again, heal it, and move on from it. That is the energy around this. The fact that it's in Taurus would suggest that it's creating a safe space in order for us to be able to do that, because that's what Taurus does. It's stability, it's safety, it's kind of nourishing. So yeah, it's going to be big. And, you know, Ivy is asking us to appreciate all our blessings. What have we got to be thankful for? So don't forget to do that in amongst all of this. And also, what can we learn from our burdens? How do we turn those weaknesses into power? And how do we kind of turn any challenges into golden opportunities, creating rather than resisting? That's what this is all kind of about at the moment, is all of this coming up and shining a light onto our deepest insecurities, basically. All the things that we don't like about ourselves is quite something to kind of consider this period in time, for sure. And it makes us really vulnerable. So you might have been feeling that. I certainly have. I've already had kind of, my night of kind of, one of my nights of kind of this element of shadow work. And this isn't the backdrop to Samhain that's happening on Tuesday. So this is the third and final harvest. The veil is very thin. We're at the time of the year where there's more moisture in the air. Read my blog on Samhain to understand what that all means, but in short, it basically means this is when spirit finds it easier to connect with us. So these can be ancestral skeletons that are coming up. A lot of people are working on their Nessus with me at the moment. If you haven't booked your session, get in there, book your session. This is your ancestral karma that you carry that needs clearing in order for you to move on. And doing it at this time is really powerful, capitalizing on the new moon, the fact that these things are hidden, shining a light, having the Taurus energy to find a way to hold yourself, to move towards self-acceptance, because that's ultimately what we all are after. And appreciating all that it's taken for you to even get to this point in your life. especially given some of the traumas we've all been through. It's like, how are we even alive? But we are. So that's kind of, how it is. And this anxieties that may come up and all that vulnerability are emphasized by Venus in Virgo, making us really question our self-worth, our relationships, etc. And there might be some kind of old patterns tempting us, but Jupiter is in retrograde in Taurus, so this is an invitation to do things differently, not to surrender to past kind of habits to kind of get through. So the advice is surrounding yourself by people that love and care for you while you do this work and rock backwards and forwards in the twilight. I thought I'll keep the light like it is because, we're going towards Samhain and the shadow time. But this means, being able to call the ancestral support forward and have that and acknowledge that. So there's a lot of factors that play here, but if you use this time well, you can achieve an awful lot. You've kind of got all the energies behind you to bring about that internal peace and self-acceptance that makes for a happy kind of life once we've uncovered those energetic skeletons and lived through them once again, which can be really kind of deeply triggering and but necessary, because each time we go through that process it gets a little bit lighter and a little bit quicker and a little bit easier. So as I recount, read my blog on Samhain and Witch's New Year and what it means. You'll find that on www.theoilywitch.co.uk. Look under spiritual blogs and you should be able to find that. If you want to find out where your Nessus is in your astrology chart, then book a chart reading with me, or if you've already had a chart reading, get in touch and I will book you a private session to do Nessus. If all this stuff does come up and you need a kind of support with your family skeletons or even your own skeletons, your feelings of self-worth, come to me for spiritual counselling or indeed get your chart read. That's a really beautiful way to understand your strengths and your challenges and how to make the power out of those positions. So yeah, and if you've got any other issues, like troubling issues about that you can't put your finger on, then come to me for a 360. They're complete. Look, I hope that's been helpful. I will see you soon.